conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Paul Felder.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Memorial Day special with myself and Paul Felder. By the way, I say special. It's a special one because we've got three great guests. We've got Rico Verhoeven, one of the most successful kickboxers on the planet. We've got Khalil Rountree, who we will be commentating his fight in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And we also have the champ, Merab Dvalishvili. But it is Memorial Day, Paul. What are you doing in Philadelphia?
Not too much today. John Gooden is actually in town with Fight Pass doing like a little special, his mini like docu-series on different gyms and the coaches and all that. So I got to go down there today, hang out with those guys, watch Sean and the crew, Joe Pfeiffer on the mats. Petrosky was on the mats today, all training. So it was cool. And it's the first time, honestly, that I've gone down there and not done anything. And I was telling you, Michael, I feel more exhausted having just sat and watched a training session than if I had actually gone and activated myself and did some training. And other than not doing much today. Shout out to my buddy Ryan. What's that? No, I don't know what we're gonna eat. We don't even, and people are probably gonna even shame me for this, but I don't even have a grill. Like I don't even have a barbecue here at the house. I know.
You're not a real American.
I'm not a man. I can't even click the tongs to feel like that.
So in our house, we have a barbecue. We have a grill. We're real people. We're meat eaters of the highest degree.
Yeah,
but we recently got one of those Traeger smokers.
The smoker thing. Yeah.
And I'm not a real man because I've never used the Traeger yet. Rebecca and Lucas, they're all about it. They're in charge of the Traeger. Now, the Traeger, you can control it via an app, so it's all well and good. The only thing we can do good on it is ribs. Everything else tastes like shit. We've done tri-tip, we've done brisket, we've done tri-tip and brisket multiple times, and every time pretty much inedible. And we sat there one night, Rebecca did it all, and like we're pretending. And then halfway through it, we're like, listen, I'm sorry. I've got to be honest. This is bad. This is bad. And Callum was like, and then everyone was like, yeah, it is. It is. So if anyone's got any tips on how to use the bloody Traeger, let us know, because right now, outside of ribs, it's not good. But
I would hit up Nixick. He's always using that thing. He might have
grill master.
Some tidbits. I know with that specifically, he's always using that one. I've seen videos and stuff. So might be your
Memorial
guy.
Day, of course, a holiday here in America. It's a bank holiday in the UK, for those people that give it their time in the service. Paul, did you never consider a military career yourself?
So I did actually. And I've got some close friends that were former military. One was a Marine. Another guy was in the Air Force. And they all tell me, they're like, you'd have been perfect for that type of service. And I'm like, yeah, I know, probably scarily so. So it's probably a good thing I didn't. But dude, I used to actually, when I was just in college, get like guilt and regret that I never joined, because I knew some guys that did. My girlfriend at the time, her brother was like a very high up Marine and did all that kind of stuff. And I met him. So I used to drunkenly in college leave messages with the recruiters, because I would get like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna sign up for the military. And they'd be calling me the next day and I'd be getting messages and I'm like, no, I don't really want to do it.
So, now, is this when you're at Fairy College?
Yeah. This is when I'm dancing around pretending to be a cat in the morning and doing scenes at night. And I'm having regret that I haven't joined like the Marines or the SEALs or something extreme.
I always remember, because I was going to join the army when I was a kid, and a friend of mine, his brother goes, "Oh, you'd be a sergeant major's wet dream," and which is a good way of putting it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I got turned away. They really? Actually said, Yeah. I went into the recruitment office, tried to sign up. I had a few scraps when I was a kid, so I got arrested a few times. I was never a criminal, never stolen anything, never been a drug dealer or a gangster or anything like that. But I had a few scraps. That was it. That was it. Just a few.
I wonder if
drunken
they're
bar
worried.
fights.
They're worried that they're not going to be able to rein you in, and you'll probably fight back.
Yeah, I'll never forget getting the phone call. I was working I was working in a factory, just like packaging couches. We were called the quality control inspector. We weren't. We just like made sure they looked okay, packaged them, and threw them on the back of a lorry. And that was going to be like my big break. I was going to join the army. And I'll never forget getting that phone call. There was no mobile phones back then, so the
Called the house.
No, the work phone rang. You know, Michael Bisping phone call. So I had to go in the office, and I'm standing there, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't take you." And I'm like, "Really?" And they said, "Yeah, no criminal record. You can apply again." I think I would have been like 42 or something. You can apply again later, and you can join join the logistics. Basically, be like a wagon driver or driving a truck. Yeah, that was heartbreaking, man, because that was my big plan. And I was like, oh my God, I've made such a mess of my life. I can't even join the army. And that sounds insulting. It's not supposed to be. Anyway, but everything happens for a reason. Because I always say this to Rebecca, because I'm away a lot. I leave for this movie tomorrow. I'm like, I could have been in the military. I could have been on the other side of the goddamn world, you know? So anyway, big shout out to everyone in the armed forces for giving us the life that we have today, because I tell you what, things might be a little bit different. Have you done any of those USO tours, Paul?
Yeah, well, the one not where I went overseas, just when I went to the military base here in the States in Virginia. And I got handcuffed to a toilet. So it didn't go great.
I went to Afghanistan with BJ Penn, Carlos Condit, who else? Uriah Faber. Yeah, that was good, man. Flying around in the back of helicopters and stuff like that.
Did you get to do like the grappling and stuff with the guys? Is that something they did? Because I saw the Carlos Condit one where I was there. He went, yeah. Oh, you were.
He knocked him out because I sparred the guy first. This is special forces. We flew in a helicopter. This is an old story for old believers. Apologies. We flew in a helicopter to this tiny little fob. Fort operational base high up in the mountains. There were just like 6 or 7 dudes there, special forces, all grizzled guys, been up there 6 months, you know, and they had a little boxing ring, and they wanted to spar, you know. So I sparred one guy, and it was all just very, very cordial, you know. No one was being a dick. Yeah. And again, I've told this story many times, so apologies. But with Carlos Condit, so we finished sparring, and Carlos jumps in. And the guy goes, okay, how hard do you want to go? And Carlos, yeah, he said, how hard do you want to go? And Carlos said, and this was a gangster answer, he said, I'll hit you as hard as you hit me, right? So, I mean, that kind of lays the gauntlet down, you know, be nice, be cool, or be a dick. It's up to you.
Up to you.
And the guy sucker punches Carlos as hard as he can, right? Like they hadn't really started. And the guy just goes whack, cracks him as hard as he can.
God.
Drops Carlos.
Oh my God.
Raw. Shakes his head. Bah, 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 bah. Head kick. Do, 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 do. Knocked him through the ropes. Knocked him out. Yeah. That was what Carlos Condit did.
And that's the guy that you had just sparred, and he wasn't like that?
No. Completely different guy.
Okay. My guy I was going to say, because like, then he just had he lost a bet or something when Carlos fought at one point. You know what I mean? If he's doing that, because like, why would you go from one guy? Like you're a high level guy. Why wouldn't you be the same way you're a bigger guy too, though? So
anyway, so that's Memorial Day. That's us. That is covered. That's Memorial Day covered for the Believe You Me podcast. We do have Khalil Rountree jumping on, but before we do, should we get to one of these stories? Because obviously there was no fights at the weekend to go through. We do have fights this weekend. Main event: Erin Blanchfield and Macy Barber. Week after, we have Merab Dvalishvili taking on Sean O'Malley in the pay-per-view. I've got a thought about that. Sean O'Malley obviously getting the rematch. Now, Merab's beaten most of the top 10 anyway. Sure, Corey Sandhagen probably deserves a shot, but you know, he had a fight against Davison Figueiredo. Now he'll probably be next in line. For Sean O'Malley coming into this one, he's got to change everything up. Now, I know there's been some content out there and he's done some interviews where he's changed his circle and he's changed his phone number and got rid of a lot of old friends and he stopped smoking weed by all accounts. I saw that somewhere as well, which is great. But the main thing for Sean was that in that first fight, because he'd been dominating most people, to be honest. I mean, look at what he did to Chito Vera. You know, he was picking people apart. He's tall, he's long, he's quick. And he's generally a counter striker. He lets people come at him, catches them as they're coming in, kind of controls the fight like that. So for him, he didn't have to change anything because it wasn't broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, but then Merab Dvalishvili comes in, non-stop forward pressure.
A whole new game,
takes him down. So now it's on Sean O'Malley to mix things up, to change it up, to go forward, put Merab on the back foot and try and put Merab Dvalishvili in reverse, put him on the back foot. Won't be easy.
No, it won't be easy, but you're right? And we see it all the time when these guys face these just nonstop terrors of wrestlers where they're just in your face and then they're hitting you with shots too that normally if you're just striking, they would never land these shots. Like Merab is not a better striker necessarily than Sean O'Malley, but he's able to land shots because of the threat of the takedown. And when you're constantly backing up and getting bullied, and to be fair, like the lifestyle, I know it's all fun and a lot of fighters smoke weed and like whatever, but when you're in camp, just like drinking, you got like, just because you do that for fun, you've got to focus. You're still smoking, especially if you're actually smoking weed and not just eating an edible, like you're still breathing in smoke. And then you're supposed to be this cardio machine fighting 5 rounds against somebody like Merab. Merab probably ain't out there smoking weed. We can ask him today, but I guarantee it's not what he's doing. He's living the life. And you then face that and you realize, shit, if I want to stay at this level and hold that belt, man, I've got to change not only my game plan and who I've got around me, but what I'm doing in my lifestyle. I love to hear that about Sean.
Yeah, well, we know, well, we don't know, but I assume he's not smoking weed. We do know Merab is a crazy guy, though. You know,
he's trying to hurt himself in other ways. Yeah.
Diving headfirst into frozen lakes. I saw a video of him yesterday, like kind of like almost skateboarding or sliding
down the mountain.
Down the side of a mountain.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, this episode is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Guess what? Summer is just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile, they've got a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/BYM. That's mintmobile.com/BYM. Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plans options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. I think Harrington put it in the notes somewhere. He's got a broken toe or something like that. Where was that?
Pinky toe. I saw his pinky toe looks broken.
He's got a pretty brutal injury to the pinky toe. He says that it is the same exact injury that Conor McGregor suffered, but he is not a coward and will never pull out of a fight. He is quoted as saying, "I would rather cut it off than miss this fight." That's 5A. Yeah, there we go.
Now, a couple of things, Harrington. Just jump back on, please, brother. I hate to say this, especially on Memorial Day, but you do sound like you're not coming through your microphone.
No, it couldn't be. There's simply...
Paul, what would your guess be? Does that sound like a microphone? Does that sound like the dulcet tones of Mike Harrington? Does that sound somebody coming through the audio of the built-in microphone?
Might be.
How about now?
Might be a commuter.
Oh, see,
man.
I was right. No, thanks, Harrington. Real quick though, no, jump on, buddy, jump on, and we'll talk about the toe in just a second. you made your commentating debut at this, or maybe not debut. You did the thing with Miller at the weekend.
I did. He was a dream to work with. Very fun time.
How was the event?
Ooh, the event was great. Not nearly as great as having. Oh no, forget it. It was it was a very, very, very fun event. Boo hosts, a legend from your neck of the woods, actually, Michael Britton, legend of the White Company, got the win. Very fun event overall.
That means nothing to us. It means nothing to Paul, and it means even less to one of the greatest light heavyweights in the game right now, the one and only Khalil Rountree Jr., struggling with that phone more than he might struggle with Jamahal Hill. What's up,
Sorry,
Khalil?
guys. What's going on?
Same old, brother. Same old. We were just saying, obviously, we'll see you in not a couple of weeks, next month, June 21st, Azerbaijan, Baku. Tell me what your feelings were when you first found out you were going to be fighting in Azerbaijan.
Honestly, my feelings were excitement. I mean, when the emotions settled that, you know, the fight would be rescheduled, I was pissed off when that happened. That was for sure. But when they told me that they got it rescheduled and that it would be in Azerbaijan, I was excited because when am I ever going to go there on my own? So it seems like a beautiful place to go and visit and fight. So I'm fired up.
Awesome. And Khalil, just in terms of the training camp and coaches and things you were doing in preparation for the first date, how much changed? What did you have to do to shuffle things around to kind of, you know, postpone it? I know that's always really tough for fighters when they get close. You know, a lot of things go into the weight cut. How hard was that to adjust, or was it a good thing, depending on where you were?
I'd say overall, man, it was just a good thing. I just slowed down a little bit, just like because we were 4 weeks out, so I was just now starting to kind of ramp up my energy. You know, I was ramping up my energy, but then when the postponement happened, I just kind of let off the gas a little bit. I stayed training every day, but just the intensity died down a bit to just give me time to focus on, you know, some of the things that we've been working on. So it was kind of a blessing. It just gave me, you know, more time to stay in shape. Yeah.
Just remind me. Oh, sorry, Khalil. I was going to say, just remind me, why did it get postponed or rescheduled?
From what I understand, that there was an injury on Hill's part, but I don't know too much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much of the info, but it seems to be that's what it was.
So given the state of the light heavyweight division right now, obviously, you know, you fought for the belt recently. Jamahal has fought for the belt. You're two of the top guys in the division. Magomed Ankalaev is the champion. What do you think? Do you think this gets you a shot at Magomed or Pereira? By the way, give me your thoughts on that fight. Just give me your thoughts on the light heavyweight division right now.
My thoughts, really, like my honest thoughts on the light heavyweight division right now are, I'm just preparing to become the champion, however that looks. So I plan to win against Jamahal, and I want to fight for a title again. I really think that I'm ready to become the champion. I'm ready for it. You know, like that fight against Alex was the thing that kind of helped me answer that question for myself. And now that I've been through that and been through that type of war, I know that I can do even more. I know I can do better. And so I'm ready for it again. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to look, but I'm going to continue to do the same amount of work until my time comes again. And that's really all I care about is getting that belt.
And Khalil, along the lines of kind of being in there with somebody like Pereira, putting out the fight that you did and going to battle with him like that, and then talking about knowing that now you know you're capable of achieving that, right? And I know I've seen a lot with you and John Haggerty's coach doing Muay Thai and mixing things up. Just what were some things that you really wanted to focus on most, having been in there with him and moving forward in your career? Not fixed in a bad way either, just things that I know you're a guy that likes to really be focused on certain things and working on things. So what kind of was the main thing that you were looking to change after that fight or add?
I just, in that fight, I didn't like feeling like the small guy. I didn't. Like, I really felt like I felt Alex's like I felt that he was bigger than me. I felt the size. I felt the strength, especially on the receiving end of the punches and stuff. And like, although there were a few moments where I was able to push him back, I think that it took more energy than I would have liked it to. And the only way to get that type of, to get used to that is to train with bigger guys, or, have to push around a little bit more weight so that these guys don't feel as big. You know what I mean? Like, I really did feel like a smaller guy. So that was a lot of my reasoning for working with Christian, aside from us just having great chemistry. I was just kind of looking for somebody that was going to help me just really push to my maximum, to my limit. And that also understood Muay Thai and what I like about Muay Thai, and we clicked, and it's been a great matchup. And John Wood's still included. Like, John Wood's the
just
best
adding on
MMA brain. Yeah, just adding on to
And Mike, have you seen this guy, Mike, the guy that works with Haggerty and the Christian?
I've seen Khalil working with this guy. Yeah, and he's from the UK, right?
Yeah,
he's from London.
Yeah.
And he's the man. I watch their pad sessions. I watch all that. Like, I love. So when I saw you working with him, that's why I wanted to bring it up. I was like, that's awesome.
Well, I hate to bring it up, boys, but outside of Thailand, the UK has the best Thai boxing on the planet.
Hey, man,
that's true. That's fact.
Maybe I don't argue with you there. I mean,
thanks for bringing that up, because that's absolute truth, and I back you.
Yeah. No, it is true though that the level of Thai boxing in the UK is extremely high. There's so many 100%. Talented guys there, but there's just no money in it. It's such a shame, because these guys go to effing war and they get paid next to nothing. It's wild.
Yeah, it is crazy. Mike, I'm British by heart, man.
Yeah, let's go. That's why I told somebody, the podcast, Khalil.
I told somebody, I say this all the time. If I could pay like $100,000 to have a British accent, I'd do it.
Khalil, do an English accent for us. Come on.
No, I can't.
Come on.
Mike
I don't
always try to get you to do it.
I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to embarrass myself. It's got to come naturally.
Khalil, I'll try and do an American if you do a British. I can't do an American accent. I'm leaving for an acting role tomorrow. I cannot do an American accent to save my life. And you know what the funny thing is now? Because I've done auditions for English roles, but because I've lived in America for 14 years.
They're like, you're not English enough.
There's a little tweak of American. They're like, we're really confused with his accent. What's going on? Is he English or American? All right, so I won't ask you that. Just going back to the size thing, Khalil, obviously size matters. Pereira is a giant, right? He's gigantic. Yeah. But so's Magomed Ankalaev. So have you thought about maybe 185, or is that just out of the question?
No, I started my professional career at 185. And it's not smart. For me to, as I'm, growing and maturing, I love to eat and I love to train hard, so I think that I don't want to starve myself, to make 185, I can fully nourish myself and still get a great, 6 hours a day of training in. I'm feeling good. I feel like I wouldn't be able to nourish myself the same if I was trying to make 185. And for me, I'd rather get bigger than get smaller. I'm not one of the guys that promotes like cutting weight and dropping weight classes if you don't have to. So I just prepare for going against guys, like Pereira, like Ankalaev, doing whatever I can to get stronger, to get better, more well-rounded, so that I have answers to everybody's things, everybody's problems that they're bringing to me. I've got an answer for it. And until that belt's wrapped around my waist, man, that's the main focus.
And then Khalil, along the lines of preparing for these guys that are just, monsters in there, big guys that you've got to deal with at the top of this division, was there any added stuff for strength and like conditioning and things like that, or did you feel it was mainly just having some bigger bodies around you to physically go with? And has lifting been a big part of your regiment at all in the past?
my strength and conditioning program lasts year round.
Okay.
I never stop that. So if there's no fight,
you look like it.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if there's no fight, like if there's no fight on the books, then I'm in my strength and conditioning, but just in a different phase. We break it up in phases. So, everything is strategic to fight timing. All the way down to the weight cut. Like my last 5 fights, I haven't cut over 5 to 6 pounds in a cut, just because that's just how we have things structured to where like everything is just smooth and I can perform on fight night. So, yeah.
Am I correct in thinking, Khalil, that you used to be a heavier guy, a much like more out of shape guy, right? You haven't always, because some guys are just blessed with that DNA where, this sounds bad and it's not designed to be like white guys. We're like, these black guys, they're always ripped. Do you know what I mean? But you used to be heavy, right?
Yeah, I was 305 pounds at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
That's
so that MMA is like my first real sport that I ever competed at. Started at 20 years old. Just joined the gym to turn my life around and ended up being something for me.
So 305 pounds at 19. What were you doing? Were you just eating terrible, shitty foods?
Yeah. Fast food, soda, gas station food, 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That's it. That's
right.
pretty much
That's right. You were a big smoker. I remember. It's funny, Khalil, because you get to a point in your career, and I'd say this is a positive thing too, right? There's so much to talk about with you that we almost forget that like, you know what I mean? That was a storyline when we're seeing you for the first few times, and now, you're
It's cool.
Dogs, you're fighting for belts.
I love that's my story, and I think that a lot of people have been inspired by that. But man, I'm so like I'm still the same me, but like I'm miles. I'm so far away from that guy.
Of course.
It's good to look back and to see how far I've come, and to look forward and see how far I'm still going to go. So it's a nice place to be in right now.
We often talk about diet and stuff like that on here, and people always say if they're negative, it's easy for you guys, you do it for a living or whatever, but just some basic dietary guidelines will make a big difference in your life. Like I always say, you got to cut out all the processed shit. Don't drink your carbs, drinking soda and stuff, drinking tons of beer and pizza. It's obvious. But what are some like basic diet tips that you would give to anybody listening? Because a lot of people struggle with their weight, men and women. And for men, it's almost like they don't want to talk about it because they seem like a pussy, but what is some advice that you would give, Khalil?
Eat real food. Like that's honestly that thing that helps me the most, like eating real food. So like eat your proteins, eat your vegetables, cook your own food at home too. Like I make some of the best stuff, and like I think the best stuff for you is just the natural stuff. The other day, man, like I ate so much just watermelon with Greek yogurt. Like I just put that in a bowl and like smashed it down, and it was an amazing snack. Like I just felt like could I have eaten ice cream? Yeah, but I'd rather eat something that's more real, more natural. So less ingredients, like stuff in the boxes, like just try not to eat stuff that comes in a box. Like when you go to the grocery store,
stay out of the aisles. Stay out
of the aisles. It really is that simple. Like it's cliche, but it really is that simple.
Yeah. It is
perimeter. Like
at a grocery store, all the vegetables, fruits, and meats, yogurts,
the perimeter,
cheeses. Like there's stuff you can get for snacks. Doesn't have to be down the aisles. Down the aisles, you're getting the cookies, the cakes, all that shit.
Exactly. And dude, honestly, like that, as cliche as it is, and as many people may joke about it, it's the absolute truth. You go straight to the other aisle, get some potatoes, get some broccoli, get some spices. There's more than enough options there for people to eat healthy. I think it's just a decision thing. So eat real food, and I guarantee, you do that for 90 days, I guarantee you'll feel so much different about yourself.
Yeah. And this is so true as well. And again, it's like I'm getting on my high horse and lecturing. When you start doing that, you stop craving the bullshit. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I love a bowl of ice cream. I love a bit of chocolate here and there, of course, but generally you stop craving all the pizza and the processed shit because, I mean, it's well known now. It's all over Instagram and social media, but it's full of highly addictive chemicals. And once you make the change, you don't really crave it anymore.
Yeah. One of the things when I first started losing weight, and a rule that I gave myself, if I couldn't pronounce the ingredients on the box, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if I didn't know what it was, if it was like something that like, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what that is.
Something gum in there. Gum. What?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. So, I know it's in broccoli. I know it's in peaches. So let me just grab some of these.
All right. Yeah. But with all that aside, if you want Azerbaijan, you have the weigh in, you're feeling good, you're looking ripped. It's the cheat meal. It's not the treat meal. You've made weight. It's the night before. What are you going for? By the way, I don't know what the local food is in Azerbaijan, but what are you?
That's what I'm going for. No, that's what I'm going for. The local food looks amazing. I can't pronounce anything yet. But it's got a very it's a good mixture of like Mediterranean, kind of some Turkish influence. There's a lot of meats, proteins, vegetables.
Cabbage. I feel like a lot of cabbage.
I don't remember seeing cabbage, but I do remember just seeing just like some good veggies. It reminded me of like Turkish meets Mediterranean. So It looks good. I'm excited. So I think my post weigh-in meal is going to be something that's local to Baku.
Okay. Jamahal Hill. Slugger, aggressive guy, power in the hands. How do you beat this guy?
Any way that I want, to be honest.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. Any way that I want. And that's just where I'm going to leave that.
Confident. On Friday, Paul, I went, there's a gym, or there's a guy now that's doing the rounds that is doing so much for the fight world, certainly down here in Orange County. Khalil knows who I'm talking about. Bear from the Jackson podcast. So he has the Jackson chain, he has the Jackson podcast, and he's just launched a new brand called Santos Studios, and it's high-end clothing stuff. And he's built a gym specifically there. He's built another gym across the street. He's built a jiu-jitsu studio. He's putting a lot of money and time and effort. Of course, it's a business and he's going to make money, but he's giving back to a lot of fighters. And the reason I bring this up is because he's doing a lot of merch with guys, and I know he's doing merch with Khalil. And the merch is actually available in Nordstrom's very, very soon, right?
No, now nationwide, 91 stores. Yeah, man, we're taking over. We're taking over. So yeah, So Bear is he's a madman mastermind. The guy's got so much energy and so much vision, and the heart, man. He's got such a giant heart. So the team, where we've got professional skateboarders, we've got motocross riders, we've got surfers, MMA fighters, jiu-jitsu people, one big community of extreme sports athletes, with just highly fashionable quality clothes, shoes. It's one of the best communities that I've been a part of, honestly. It's not even just oh, shout out to my sponsor. We're say it a lot of time, one team, one dream. And we're inclusive. We want everybody to be involved. We want to, support the sports, keep everybody stylish. Man, it's amazing. I'm so happy to be a part of the team.
And it's really cool stuff, Paul, as well. Maybe I'll reach out to Bear. I'll get you some free shit.
Yeah, I got to look a lot cooler, and maybe Khalil can help me out with that. And Khalil, is it safe to say then that you've got aspirations and probably goals set for yourself post-career? You seem like a guy that's got a lot of interest and is someone that, your passion is going to go beyond fighting. What is that for you at this point? Or do you even think that far?
Paul, I used to think that far, but right now I'm telling you, man, my only focus right now is becoming the champion and getting that belt.
Oh, that's good to hear, man.
But my heart is open to my interests. I love fashion. I love clothing. I love creative stuff, videography, film, just anything that involves creative input and creative outlook. I just think that that's what keeps the world bright, and colorful. You got to have creators to just make things interesting. So my heart will always be open to that type of stuff because that's just who I am. Yeah, I keep my interest open, but right now, yeah, once I get the belt, that's my main focus until it's done. But I'm keeping the energy, I'm trying to keep my energy, my mind, my heart alive so that I can do whatever I want to do after fighting
later on. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Last question before we let you go, Khalil. And as always, thanks for your time, and we'll see you out there. And best of luck with the rest of camp. Pereira, you must have seen this bit of a social media storm that happened recently. He claimed he was hacked. Apparently, they offered him a short notice fight against Magomed. He turned it down. Then they brought in someone else. Then he puts out a scathing statement saying screw the UFC or whatever. Then he claimed he was hacked. What was your thoughts on all of that stuff? Just because we're just trying to get a clickbait. We're trying to get some headlines, baby.
Yeah, no, I understand. Honestly, man, like I heard about both. I heard about getting hacked, all this stuff. I haven't been able to pay enough attention to really give too much of a detailed opinion. But, dude, I'm such a neutral guy. Like, even if he did, I understand. Like, people get frustrated, whatever. Like, he's done so much for the UFC in the past, couple years. Maybe he just had a moment of breaking and let it loose. Who knows? But yeah, we're all human. We make mistakes sometimes. If he did get hacked, that sucks. If he didn't get hacked, give the guy a break, You
know what?
He doesn't really mean it. He doesn't really mean it.
You know what?
I'm sure after everything Alex has done, he loves the UFC, I'm sure.
And that is so mature, because you're absolutely right, because you know what it's like, and me and Paul know what it's like when you're at this level, fighting at the highest level against the best people in the world, and you got the whole world watching and scrutinizing your every single move. It can be hard. It can be difficult sometimes, and it takes a factor on the mind. Anyway, Khalil, thanks for your time, brother. All the best with the rest of camp. Thank you today for jumping on, and we'll see you in Baku.
Of course.
Yeah. See you there, dude.
My man, there he is. He was out of here quick. He's like, don't ask me any more bullshit questions about Pereira. Stop trying to get your clickbait headlines, Bisping. I'm out of here.
Man. Read something.
All right, today's episode is sponsored by Beam Creatine. Now, if you're an athlete, if you work out, if you lift weights, you've heard of creatine. It's good for recovery. It's good for making you stronger and more explosive. But it's also good for brain health and mental cognition. But not all creatine is created equal. And that's why I switched to Beam Creatine. You've heard me talk about Beam's greens powders before, but I recently started using their creatine, and it's been a game changer. I wanted something clean, effective, and easy to trust. And Beam makes that so easy. But like everything else, the quality matters, and Beam Creatine is just that, high quality. They don't use fillers. They don't use sugar. Nothing synthetic, just clean, pure creatine, backed by science and used by people who care about staying mentally sharp and strong. Plus, with Beam Creatine, it's completely tasteless. You just mix one scoop with some juice, water, whatever you want, and you are ready to go. So with Beam Creatine, I get the strength benefits, the endurance, the recovery, and I know I'm putting something into my body that I can trust. One scoop a day, simple as that. If creatine's already in your world, but you're ready to upgrade to a cleaner, smarter version of it, this is it. And right now, Beam is giving you up to 30% off for a limited time. Just head to shopbeam.com/believe and use the code BELIEVE at checkout. That is shopbeam.com/believe and use the code BELIEVE to get up to 30% off your first order. Obviously, we can't give predictions on that fight. No. Khalil does seem super confident, saying he'll beat him any way he wants. He's definitely the more technical out of the two. Jamal's kind of like a street fighter. I know he claims to have the best boxing in the UFC a while ago. But what's your thoughts on that fight?
I'm very excited about that fight because I got to speak to Jamal in, I don't know if he was in Iowa or Kansas City, one of the recent ones that I called. He was there, and he also it seems dialed in, seems confident, and feels like he's going to get it done. So I think both guys are going to. I think it's going to be nasty. I think it's going to be a nasty fight. But I love what Khalil's doing and working with Christian, the coach of John Haggard. Dude, those guys are smooth and they're big and they know how to use Muay Thai properly. So I like it.
Well, we can't give predictions, But Harrington and Bryan, as we know, I mean, they're the true analytical masterminds.
I'm curious too what they're going to think about this because obviously I have an opinion, but we can't say it.
Unless Herringbone and Bryan are off getting Memorial Day beers, who wins that fight, lads? What do you think, early?
I mean, it's tough. It's really tough to pick against Jamahal, somebody who has climbed the mountain and has held the title. But I mean, since the injury, has he? I don't know that he's gotten a W. So I'm gonna go with Khalil. I think Khalil gets it done.
Yeah, I agree with Harrington. Khalil's looked like an absolute just murderer since he came back from Thailand, and I'm gonna pick Khalil for a while. I think.
Yeah, I get it. The thing is, I am excited for that fight because it is just going to be fun. Because win or lose, Jamal's going to bring the violence.
Yeah, it's going to be violent. It's going to be violent.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a good one. Harrington, jump back on real quick. I see Britney Spears in the notes.
Oh yeah,
what has Britney Spears been doing? Because I know she's always doing something crazy. I haven't seen it, but I see Britney Spears there. I mean, talk about a woman she's had a hard life. She's been in the spotlight. She's had mental health breakdowns. She's had the bloody what is it called? The conservatorship or something. Where they took control of her money.
You're basically a child again. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been going on lately?
So check this out. She took a private plane and she got yelled at by the stewardess, the flight attendant, whatever you want to call it, and they threatened to call the air marshals on her for smoking a cigarette, which has led people to ask, what's the point of a private plane if you can't smoke a cigarette in it?
Yeah, but if you don't own the plane, you know what I mean? You might stink the place out a little bit like my mom lived in a house that we owned, and my mom used to smoke cigarettes in the house all the time. And she'd come and babysit the kids as well when we were kids. And we're like, Mom, don't smoke in the house, okay? Yeah. Because when we grew up as kids, the ceiling was painted white.
Yellow, yeah.
But then it was yellow. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mom, don't smoke in the house. Rebecca can smell it. She's going to kick off, And I'm sure, I don't know what private jets cost, but if, I'm going to throw out $500 million, just throw it out there. They're not cheap. So,
The air filters are only like $700, $800.
Oh, saying that though, I've been on a private jet. I don't frequent them often.
Were there cigarettes smoked?
There was. There was. I flew.
So it can be done.
I flew back from Brazil with Vin Diesel on his private jet, and because we were drinking and smoking the whole way back.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel did not give a shit.
You partied a couple of times with Vin Diesel then, for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
dear.
Kind of awesome. I got to be honest with you. That's
but he did.
That's cool.
Yeah, they never said anything to him though. They didn't have a go, so they're just picking on poor old Britney.
Vin Diesel has just charged my card money though.
What do you mean?
Like that dude's been in all those Fast and Furious movies have made that dude so much money. He's just whatever it is, just charge me.
Yeah, no, exactly. Harrington. In fact, we're going to talk about this one. I saw it all over the news. If you go on social media, it's everywhere. Now we don't make a habit of talking too much politics on here, and we're not going to do that. We're not going to talk politics now. But Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer, you guys accused them of snorting cocaine recently.
Not just us, Michael Bisping.
Well, I think that was it was pretty much debunked. I think that they weren't snorting cocaine, but I think he definitely did get slapped in the face.
I haven't seen this. Do we have? Is there?
Have you not seen it?
No, I don't know how I've not seen this.
So pull it up? Here we go. Brian's got it. Check this out. Oh, that's the slow-mo of it. He waves. Yeah, so they're just touching down, like to do I don't know, somewhere there's the press waiting. I feel for the guy.
And who hits him? Who is that?
That's his wife.
Oh man,
because then
the French Secret Service is really doing him a disservice letting that man punch him in the face like that.
Okay, so now we got to talk about this. I'm not in on this yet either.
So hold on. Yeah. So I mean, look, listen. We'll get into Brian's stuff in just a second.
I'll be back.
Regardless of how good your relationship, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And they touch down and the media's there and they're going to walk off the plane and they're supposed to walk off hand in hand. Yeah, and, you know, you're getting into a big argument right before you walk off and you're like, for fuck's sake, can we just get this together? And she pushes him in the face and they catch it and then he walks off, gives the wave and he's like, come on, please. And then they walk off the plane. He tries to hold her hand and she won't hold it. Anyway, as always, it's always a good laugh. Go into the comments to see what people say. And in the comment section, everyone's said what Brian said. Why does everyone think that she's a man, Brian? He? Apparently so.
Well, Candace Owens, who some people on the internet have accused of being an absolute Looney Tune, I'm going to hold my judgment on that one. But she put out this really long series about how Emmanuel Macron's wife could possibly be, or is definitely a dude, but could possibly, it goes off the rails at the end. But the thing about it is no, it's even worse than that. The last chapters of her docu-series here say she posits that Emmanuel Macron is actually married to his tranny dad, which is, I don't have opinions on that. But I will say, if a news outlet was putting out information about trying to call somebody something that they aren't, they're opening themselves up for a libel suit, which has not come. They've only gotten a cease and desist. And it wasn't even a cease and desist from a court. It was like, hey, we'd appreciate if you don't talk about this anymore. So that's like my major point toward where it might be true because they haven't been sued to hell.
She punches like a girl. I'll tell you that. If that's a man, they should be ashamed of themselves. Simple as that. But still.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I know he's not popular in France. I don't know too much about British politics, American politics, let alone bloody French politics. However, it's awful, right? Because you're married, right, Paul? Pardon me.
Correct.
Yeah, you're a married man. You know, sometimes there's trouble in paradise. It happens on occasion. And it's always the way because you love them so much. When you argue, it's always at a 10. It's always at a 10. You know what I mean? No one pisses you off more than the person you love the most on the planet.
Yeah. You know why? Because they say stuff, and half the time I end up arguing with Christine is because she'll say something. I get so mad, but then I think about it, and I'm like, I guess technically you're probably right, but I'll die on this cross defending myself.
Yeah. They don't have to go immediately for the jugular.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got no fights to break down that happened at the weekend. We do have Merab Dvalishvili jumping on. Aaron just got some good notes on here. Did we talk about the reality show in Thailand that happened? Did we see any of that stuff?
No, I don't think we have. I've seen some of this stuff with Diaz and everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
And Jones and all this. And then here he is again. And then it brings up even more of, there's rumors he's done, like, I'm done. He's written in tweets and stuff like this. Jones, is that true?
Jones, yeah. Harrington, you were going to say something there. What were you going to say? Spit it out or forever hold your peace.
You said that the reality show that was filmed, I believe it's still filming. So all the footage that we've seen is just stuff that's been behind the scenes or posted by, this isn't like the Tough House where guys are getting their phones taken away. While this is filming, they're putting stuff out in real time, including a brawl that went down that is very much shaking up the dynamic of the house for that.
Oh, yeah. Do we have footage of the brawl?
Yes, we do. It is in the notes as number 3A.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this because, as always, Nate Diaz, he's the first one to throw. He slaps somebody, and it was the dude that Jon Jones was partying with just while Brian pulls up the video.
Yeah.
It was the dude that Jon Jones was on the back of a motorcycle with. And then it all kicks off. Not the best footage, Harrington. It's in black and white, but whatever. It's okay.
It's what I could find.
I found it in color, but whatever.
I'll see if I can find some better stuff. But apparently,
It's all right.
Apparently, the story, according to Jon Jones, is that that guy Zalek came over to Nate Diaz and was messing with him, was like play fighting, and Diaz does not play those games, and it got way too serious, way too quick. As a result, Nate has been asked to leave the house.
I mean,
why do people invite him to things anymore?
What did
They
you
know that this is
think
gonna happen.
was gonna happen when you invite Nate Diaz to be in a house full of fighting people?
Chechens and Russians, right, all together in a big group. They're drinking alcohol. Like the one dude that Jon Jones, he was on the back of his motorbike, right? Apparently they've been out on a heavy night out, fair play, right? Live your life, do whatever you want. The guy comes in, he looks like he's drunk. He starts like, messing around. You can see he's never fought a day in his life, but he is backed by a bunch of Russians and Chechens.
Yep.
Diaz slaps him. All hell hits the fan, right? And it's like, because you're right. You can sit here and you can say, what is Nate Diaz doing? When is he going to learn? When is he going to grow up? But Nate Diaz has always been like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, he's gonna slap somebody. And he'll be the first to tell you that. Like, he's not gonna play nice for the cameras. Like, if you got Nate there, somebody's probably gonna do something that's gonna agitate. But the other thing is, don't poke the bear. Like, I really do feel like if Diaz is there and you don't start shit with him, he's not slapping you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not going out of his way to start with you. It's because people bring that energy to Nate. For some reason, they like to try to push him, and then you know what he's going to do.
No, exactly. Like, there was that one, I think it was like a Logan Paul impersonator or something. And he was kind of in his face, kind of being a dick with aggressive energy. All right, we've seen all the water bottle throwing incidents over the years and whatnot, but that's whatever. So what? It's a bottle of water, grow up. But yeah, if you're in someone's face and you're kind of being a little bit aggressive
of a dick,
and you're going up against Nate Diaz, don't be surprised if you get slapped in the face. And actually be surprised that that's all it was. You know what I mean?
Like he didn't just straight up punch you in the face.
Did you see Nate Diaz came out as well and said that he was supposed to play the role in Roadhouse that Conor McGregor had? Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, he was doing the rounds. I don't know if it's in the notes. I don't think it is. But he says that.
That would have been far more interesting to see.
He said, I was supposed to have Conor's role in Roadhouse. But then when he found out he was supposed to lose to Jake Gyllenhaal, he's like, I ain't losing to no Brokeback Mountain. He's like, no way. I couldn't do it.
I did see the Brokeback Mountain bit. Yeah.
Do you believe that? Do you think he was? I just I don't know. I don't know.
No way. No way. But it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Even if it's not true, it's like, oh, that's gold.
Hey,
that's gold.
It might have been, because I have a documentary that some people might have seen. Bisping, very originally titled. A lot of thought.
Yes, I do like the title. I like it.
It's creative. That documentary, do you know how that documentary came about?
No.
They were supposed to do a documentary on Nick Diaz.
No shit.
Yes. I should have probably said this.
They couldn't find him.
He never showed up.
You're stealing everything he's working for.
He never showed up for like the first 2 or 3 days of scheduled shoots and interviews and stuff like that. He just no-showed. And they're like, all right, we're not making a Hollywood blockbuster here, but still, there's a budget and there's money that's going to go to waste.
Yeah, of course.
So he never showed up for the first couple of days. And they were like, and then someone, a good buddy of mine, Yaz, he's like, I've got someone that's got a good story. Let's do a documentary on him. That's how that came around. So you never know. Maybe Nate Diaz is telling the truth.
God, they're destined to be superstars beyond their wildest dreams, but they just, nah.
They get in their own way a little bit. Let's have a look here. What do we think about this? Jon Anik says that Belal Muhammad is going to fight Shavkat in October, seemingly in Abu Dhabi. I saw the clip of Jon Anik saying that. Is there any truth to that? That's a little surprising, if you ask me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was talking to Sean today, and he was saying that he heard that was something that could happen. Not that he said anything's booked, but he's thinking him and Ian Gary. So if Belal fought Shavkat, then Jack and Islam fight. You've got like a nice, but then there's still Joaquin Buckley coming and fighting Usman. So I don't know. You think Shavkat, if he comes back, should just fight right for the belt? Like, what do you think he should do?
Well, I forgot about that. I forgot about the fact that Islam is fighting Jack.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why would he fight Belal? He was going to fight Belal, but he lost the belt. But then I forgot about Islam.
So, like, think about it.
Sidelines.
If those two fight, and then if Sean can get Ian Gary, I mean, then you kind of look at the UFC as options. And then if Buckley wins, find him a fight. Then it's just like, who looked the best? Who looked the best and is going to be able to fight? The welterweight division right now, with everybody right at the top. I was telling Sean today, I was like, you guys are the division I'm looking at most right now. Like, it got real interesting for me with these guys.
Who was Sean saying he wants Ian Gary?
He wants Ian Gary, yeah. I mean, and Ian even said something about how, listen, if that phone rings and they tell me it's you, like, yeah, let's do it. I don't even think there's necessarily any disrespect at this point. I think they both want that belt, and they know that the only path to do it is we gotta fight. And I love it. I love it from Sean, where he's like, look, let's book it. Like, let's fight.
Well, yeah, for Sean, it makes all the sense in the world. Stylistically, it's a stylistically favorable matchup. I'll tell you what,
a big name. It's another big name.
If Ian Gary says, yeah, I've got no problem fighting Sean Brady, and he still talks the same shit, you know what? You've got to give Ian his flowers.
Gangster.
Right? It's gangster, man. Yeah. Sure. If I was in that division,
Sean's a problem for these guys, and they all know it. Like, they know they've got a chance on the feet, but then if he gets you, and dude, I'm telling you, I was watching him train today, bro. Mike, he'll just move somebody's shoulder and they flatten out. Like, he is a little gorilla. So, but Ian Gary, dude, I don't know, man. I like that fight. I like it for Sean, but I think again, you're right. If Ian takes that fight, and God forbid he beats Sean, there's no question you're next for the belt.
Yeah. Speaking about the belts, the UFC is reportedly targeting a rematch between Yair Rodriguez and Alexander Volkanovski for UFC Noche. This is according to Harrington. So Harrington, I have seen this allegedly doing the rounds on social media. Yeah. Where are you getting your information?
Well, the reports are coming out after Movsar Evloev accepted a July booking against Aaron Pico. He came out on Twitter and said, no, I'm not calling you a coward, Volkanovski. I know you fought to get me that next title shot, but business has to be done. So it is what it is. No complaints. I'm going to go fight Aaron Pico. I'll beat him and fight you next, which is leading a lot of people to say, do the math on who else could fight Alexander Volkanovski. The UFC needs somebody for the Mexico card. It's lining up pretty nicely for Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski.
I just thought Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez, given that back and forth they had at the press conference, given how personal it was, wagging the fingers and talking shit, have them fighting Guadalajara, that made all the sense in the world. But when you look at the featherweight division, you got Volkanovski, Max Holloway's number one. He's fighting Dustin, so he's out. Diego Lopez just got beat. Tapori has moved on. Yair Rodriguez is number 4, and then it's Movsar. It ain't going to be Arnold Allen or Brian Ortega or Lerone Murphy. So realistically, it doesn't really even look like there is anybody else, which is wild to say at featherweight.
Yeah. Again, that's just how these divisions is crazy, right? To see how at one point it can be like, oh my God, there's all these guys that haven't faced the champ, and there's all these contenders, and then other divisions. Now it just shifts. And I think for Volkanovski, I think he just wants to stay active. Like, I think this guy doesn't care who and where he's got to fight. Give me who's next. Is it Evloev? Perfect. Is it Yair? He just wants to stack them. He's doing what he said. Like, let's keep it. Let's go. When's my next one? I think a lot of that is for him. Like, okay, well, this guy says he wants it. He's ready to go right now. He just won. God, perfect.
It is wild, though, isn't it? Because realistically, outside of Movsar, and fair play for taking on Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico was a bit of a sensation. Had a couple of losses in Bellator when he first started, but he's kind of found his footing a little bit and doing good things. So fair play to him for taking on that matchup. But yeah, there really isn't anyone else right now. I mean, because of Topuria moving on.
Yeah.
Lopez just got beat. Holloway's fighting Dustin. It has to be Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I think that Pico move shows the interest and investment that the UFC is kind of putting in this kid. So it's either like, listen, you sink or swim right now. We're giving you one of our absolute tough dudes that we want to see tested again, and you get that fight. Like, that's crazy.
No, it is. It is. I'm looking here for a non-MMA story because we've got a little bit of time to fill before Merab Dvalishvili joins us. About 20 minutes. But Harrington, you haven't done a good job. But let's play number 5 because I don't know what this is. The headline is creepy tie-in. A ceiling falls on woman as she's watching the latest Final Destination.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, they're still making Final Destination films.
Wait, this is a recent one that she's watching?
Final Destination Bloodlines came out over the weekend. It did great at the box office. They've like figured out the nostalgia thing. It's actually been a pretty cool promotional thing. They've had trucks driving around, making it look like there's giant pieces of wood on the back. And then as you pass the truck, it says, remember Final Destination. It's back. Like, it's very good.
Dude, I love the first one. I saw the first one, and I never wanted to fly for a long time because of the first movie. So,
yeah, they were good.
This one's just freaky. I don't have a video for it, but there are pictures. The woman was sitting in the theater and like something ripped right out of the film as she's watching a scary movie about accidents killing people. The ceiling falls on her.
I mean, it's a coincidence.
I know, but I would be so freaked out if that was you. If that happened to me, I'd be like, "Oh my god!"
I remember I was DJing. I was DJing back in the day, and the ceiling fell in on me. It was an all-nighter. It was like 8 o'clock. Well, the club shut at 8 a.m. So it tells you what kind of place it was. Oh my god! It was the final set from 7 till 8 a.m. It's the northwest of England. It's pouring down with rain. It's a shitty old venue. And I'm there, and, we've got the stragglers in. There's not many people left. I'm doing the last set of the night, and the owner of the club, Ian, used to drive me home because I didn't even have my driver's license back then and stuff. And I'm standing there, and I'm DJing, and then all of a sudden, I was just soaked. I was soaked because the roof was flat and it was pouring down with rain. And
so the weight just crushed it.
Rain had built up, and then the just, and I was like, "What the has just happened?" Still carried on DJing. Still finished the set. Went home soaking wet. Rebecca's like, "What the has happened to you? Why are you soaking wet?"
It's like, oh dear, the roof came in on me.
Anyway, it is Memorial Day, and we all have lives to live. So Paul was living his life. I did catch up with Rico Verhoeven, one of the best kickboxers on the planet. A great guy. I spent some time with him on a movie set. We did Den of Thieves 2. He's fighting at UFC Glory 100, June 14th, taking on Artem Vakitov, the man that was the last person to beat Alex Pereira. So I caught up with him earlier. Paul, don't worry about it. I picked up the slack. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But here's me and Rico. All right, let's go. Today we're joined by the one and only, one of the, or if not the best and most successful kickboxers of all time, the one and only Rico Verhoeven. Rico, my man.
Thank you,
what is going on, buddy?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Last time I saw you, we were being movie stars in Tenerife.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look at that smile.
Sorry?
Look at that smile. I'm not surprised you're being a movie star these days as well. Come on.
I love it. It is so much fun. I love being on set. And to be honest, I truly believe that I found my new passion next to, I'm being a martial artist.
Yeah, it's crazy because anytime I talk about stuff like this, and I've always got to be careful because people think, oh, he's got all Hollywood. And it's but it's challenging and it's fun and and we get to use our skills that we've learned in the ring or whatever. And then obviously, just to challenge our minds. I really, really enjoy it. And I know you're doing big things. So congrats on everything, Rico.
Thank you, man. Thanks. Really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, like you said, it's just the combination it works perfectly. And somewhere along the road, being an athlete comes with an expiry date. So
yes,
you have to find something that you're passionate about and you have fun doing. So lucky enough, I found it. Like you.
How old are you now, Rico?
36.
36 years. You still got plenty left in the tank. So I'm looking at, what is your record? 75-1 or 65-1?
No. So let me see. I think like 75 fights. I think I lost about 10 throughout all those years, but been undefeated for I've been holding the belt for over a decade now. So.
Wow. And we're going to talk about your fight with Artem Vakitov in just a second.
Yeah.
But when we were on set doing Den of Thieves 2, I remember we went out for dinner that night. And then you said there's something happened at the pool. There was a guy, like a German guy or something. He was wasted. Just give us that story one more time.
Yeah, it was crazy. This we were there just like chilling, and yeah, this guy was just started talking shit to us. Like, I think, what was I doing? I believe I was calling with one of my daughters, and she's like, "Oh, daddy, this, that. Oh, look at me over here." And I wasn't by myself, so I was with the film crew, but I also had another legend with me, fight legend, Surreal Gone. So this guy was just starting to talk shit. So I was like, I don't think this guy knows like what's going on here. He's gonna say something. He's gonna be in trouble. So no, it was crazy. But eventually, he stopped, and everybody was like, well, "What the hell just happened?" But we left it. We use our special gift only inside the ring and that's outside the ring. But
no, I know. And you were, it was so gracious of you because, as you say, there's you. And for anyone that doesn't know, you're 6'5". You're a very big man. As I said, you're one of the best kickboxers on the planet. And then you're with Cyril Gahn, who's not exactly a small man either. He's about your size. He's gigantic, one of the best mixed martial artists on the planet. And you got this fat dude who's out of shape, talking shit, trying to fight you both. And you guys just kind of laughed it off. That guy got away so lucky that day.
Yeah, but you have to, just like kill him with kindness, right? It's like it's a waste of time. So a waste of energy, but we just gave our boundaries. Like, yo, this is where you stop, and he stopped, but he's like mumbling oh, and then okay, he was gone. So it was good.
Yeah. No, you showed a lot of control. Have you always been like that, Rico? Because anytime I've met you, you're always like in a good mood. You've always got a big smile. Have you always been like a calm kind of guy?
Yeah. It's like like to be honest, like my all-time idol is and was Peter Arts, the K1 legend. So he's been K1 champion 3 times, and that's exactly what I always saw from him as well. Like always just smiling and being humble and having fun, and in the ring, smashing machine. So I loved it. And eventually, that's just like also something I look up to, and also something I saw from my dad. Just like you have your abilities to do certain things, but just be you. Try to either fix it with words, or if not, just walk off, because you're gonna get yourself in trouble for no freaking reason. Because you got a certain type of ability, and when you hit somebody, you can do serious damage. So don't get yourself in that situation that you have to use your skills.
Yeah, no. Wise words for sure. And certainly that's kind of like the code that I live by these days. When I was younger, not so much. I used to be a bit of an idiot, but I've grown and I've matured. Now, as I said, you are fighting Artem Vakitov, and we'll talk about him in a second.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of kickboxers coming over to the UFC. And Artem Vakitov was someone that went on the Contender Series. Obviously, he's very well known for having those 2 fights with Alex Pereira. Pereira came over. Israel Adesanya came over. We had back in the day people like, Mirko Krokop. I mean, the list goes on. Is coming over to the UFC, is that something that you even think about, Rico?
I don't know. It's like I thought about it. For quite some time, and there was like a certain moment I was definitely considering it. I don't know if you still remember it, but we had a training moment for when I was back in that like consideration vibe. Remember that?
In Ruka, in Costa Mesa.
Yeah,
I do remember it. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. So I think it's about like 10 years ago or something, like 2015, 2016. And I was just like feeling the vibe. So I went there. I went to, I believe I was in Miami as well to train. And I went to AKA. So just to like feel the water. And it was a lot of fun. But eventually Glory came back with an amazing offer. And then I was like, okay, so this is what I'm making at Glory. Okay, if I want to make that same amount, how good do I need to be in MMA? I need to be really good. I need to be one of the best or even the best. So I was like, but to be completely honest and look in the mirror and talk to myself, like, is that your ambition? Is that my ambition to be the very best mixed martial artist? And then, to be honest, it isn't. So with that consideration in mind, I was like, nah. I thought about it also because I thought with the UFC, with that step, it might be easier to transition into entertainment as well, movies and stuff like that, because then your name gets bigger, quicker, etc. But I was like, let's take, I'll take the longer road. No worries. I'll take the longer road and just stay kickboxing champion and set the bar as high as possible for the next generation.
Yeah, no, and I really respect that because, as you must say, I mean, Alex Pereira has become, a worldwide phenomenon, very, very famous. He's made a tremendous amount of money, I'm sure. And I'm sure when you look at guys like that, you think, hold on a minute, I can do this. But as you say, you always wanted to be the best kickboxer on the planet. Of course, you're a long-time world champion. You've been in there with nothing but legends as well. So fair play to you. It takes a lot of courage to say, no, this is who I want to be, and never mind the money. And if you get good at what you're not good. You're world class. But if you perfect what you do, the money and other things that they come along with that anyway.
Yeah. So, and that's a very good point right there, because that's what my trainer and I always discussed, is like, never chase the money. Never chase the money. He said, because with you becoming the very best at what you're doing comes with a price tag. You being the best comes with a price tag. So don't chase the money like, I want to make a lot of money. Well, because if you just do what you do and become the very best, the money will follow. So that's what we did. So, and even like today, the money is not why I still do it. I just have fun doing it. That's the most important thing. And of course, you make a lot of money while doing it, but I think having fun is the most important thing, because if money is your drive or whatever, I'm not quite sure you can keep it up as long as I'm doing right now.
Sure. Yeah. Like for me, I started as a kickboxer. I mean, I did a bit of jiu-jitsu when I was a kid, Japanese jiu-jitsu, but I started off as a kickboxer essentially when I started learning about real striking. So I've always loved, kickboxing, Thai boxing, whatever you want to call it. Are you surprised, to be honest, that kickboxing, because I know out in Japan you got K1 and stuff like that, and I know Glory are doing big things, but mixed martial arts really took off. Are you surprised that kickboxing didn't take off in a bigger way? Does that surprise you a little?
A little, but if we look at the facts, it's so much easier because a country like the United States is so big and boxing is huge, and in high school they do wrestling. It's huge.
Yep.
So the combination is so much closer to mixed martial arts than it is to kickboxing. So with that in mind, it makes so much more sense that it took off like way more than kickboxing did. But if you look at the statistics, everybody that looks at mixed martial arts and are excited about mixed martial arts, they love when they do the stand-up fighting. So I think there definitely is a market or a world that kickboxing and mixed martial arts should collide together and just freaking explode.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, that's why I asked the question, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people complain about the grappling and stuff, and anytime you get guys like Pereira or the Strikers or Chuck Liddell back in the day, these were the huge, big superstars that really set the world on fire. So, I mean, even Joe Rogan talks about it, how much he loves kickboxing, and everyone does. Everyone loves it. But if you love boxing, if you love MMA, you're going to love kickboxing. But you've made an incredible career out of it. If I'm not mistaken, you have a life-size wax, what do you call it? At the Madame Tussauds. You have a wax figurine at the Madame Tussauds in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's right. It's the only one there that also moves. So
shit.
There's just a handful in the world that actually move, and mine is one of them. And the crazy thing is, you can do a stare down with it. So there's a system in the eyes that as soon as you walk up to it, it connects with your eyes. You can make a serious stare down. It's insane. And I looked into my own eyes and I was trying to find the robot, but you just do not see it. It is insane. They did such an amazing job. And what a cherry on the cake on an amazing career as an athlete and as a kickboxer. That I made it that far that I'm even in Madame Tussauds. It's wow.
That is insane, man. Does it talk? Does it have a built-in voice?
No.
They need to get that. They need to get on that. So you're not going to say this stuff because you're a very humble guy, but I was sent this stuff about you. So the reigning and defending Glory heavyweight champion, this on June 14th, when you're taking Artem Bakitov, will be your 13th title defense. You will celebrate on June 3rd, 4,000 days as a champion. Unbelievable. Undefeated in Glory in 25 fights dating back to 2012. Has been the champion since 2014, over a decade. The most dominant heavyweight champion of this era of combat sports. And in 2024, you won your first Grand Prix, defeating 3 heavyweights in one night to really cement your position as one of kickboxing greats. I mean, unreal. That is fucking insane, man.
Thank you so much, man. Wow. Yeah, as I'm listening to what you're saying, it's wow, we've been doing this for a long time. And it's what a career we have, man. Wow. It's it's mind blowing, to be honest. It's just the time goes by so fast, but when you're in it, you just do what you do. But now you giving me all the stats. I'm like, wow, like 4,000 days. It's like, oh my God, it's a lot. We've been here for quite a while doing it on the highest level. So it's like I feel blessed, and I'm thankful, man. Really thankful.
Yeah, and you've still got your looks, like your face isn't.
I do. I got some scars here and there, but
yeah, I was gonna say, like, because your nose isn't all mangled and crushed. You're not throwing elbows in you? Yeah, so there's no elbows. Knees.
Knees to the body, knees to the head.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously I know the difference between Thai boxing and kickboxing, but just with the different organizations, sometimes there's different rules. So you can throw knees, but there's no elbows.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So Artem Vakhitov, talk to me about this guy. Obviously, he was going to come over to the UFC. I think he was kind of like he had to win on the Contender Series. It wasn't, he won, he got a stoppage, but it wasn't like the mind-blowing finish that I think people were looking for. And he decided not to sign, I think, and he's come back to glory. What do you make of this challenge?
I don't exactly know what the reason was behind the whole change, or because I know he wanted to follow Pereira in the whole MMA mixed martial arts thing, and then he did the Contender Series and he won that fight. It was a stoppage, maybe not as spectacular as people expected, but yeah, it was quite a good stoppage if you ask me. But for some kind of reason, like, Glory just threw back at me like, yo, we got a new contender. It's Artem Vakhitov. Like, what? Is he coming back? Like, okay, but damn, this is a challenge. Then for the people that do not know him, is Artem Vakhitov was like for a 5-year the light heavyweight champion within Glory. One of my favorite fighters to watch within Glory. Technical, explosive, always having a good pace. So a huge challenge for me. Definitely a huge challenge. And then, of course, you have the critics. Yeah, but he is smaller. Yeah, but he is lighter. But we've seen the same story with Usyk and Tyson Fury. We did exactly the same. You think like, hey, he's twice as big, he's twice as strong, he's twice as heavy, but still Usyk got it done, not once but twice. So I take this fight 100% serious because serious challenger.
Yeah, and that goes down Glory 100 Saturday, June 14th. Where do people watch this? Is it on the Zone or anything like that?
Yeah, it's going to be on the Zone worldwide. So that's it's huge. That's huge.
Yeah,
but
no, it is.
It's like Glory's anniversary. It's Glory 100. And I've been with Glory since Glory 4. So yeah, we've been around for a while.
Yeah, it says here 4 world title fights, 4 4-man, 1-night heavyweight tournaments, 20 fights in total on the card. This is someone from Glory that emailed me all this information. He deserves a bonus because he's certainly given me all the bullet points. But yeah, June 14th, Rico Verhoeven versus Artem Vakhitov.
Yes, sir.
Rico, come on though. How's this fight end? What happens?
How does this fight end? That's a very good question because Artem Vakhitov is not somebody to take light and is also not somebody that you take out very easy. So I think this is going to be a 5-rounder. I definitely believe this is going to be a 5-rounder, but it's going to be a high, crazy-ass pace, up and down, bang, 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 bang. But, of course, I'm going to keep my belt right there. And the thing that's going to be the biggest difference is the impact. The impact is going to be, this is something that he's not used to. He's a light heavyweight. And yeah, I'm a super heavyweight. So the impact is just going to be different. He's not going to be used to that. And he's never faced somebody from my level. So that I think that's going to be the keys to victory.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they have weight classes for a reason. He is technical. He is good. He rips to the body well, works well in the pocket as well. So be a fun fight. I'm going to be watching it. Growing up as a kid, I mean, I know you mentioned Peter Ayers, but who was some of your favorite kickboxers to watch?
Yeah, like I said, Peter was one of my all-time favorites. Ernesto Hoost, of course. Sammy Shields. So those are like the true legends. Ray Sefo. Also, one of the legends. It's just like, so many fights. I was just like on the couch with my dad watching those K1 fights. It was like insane. Like I still remember that fight. And it was also so cool because Mark Hunt also went from K1 to UFC. And I don't know, do you remember that fight when Ray and Mark were just like standing there, hands down, and just slugging it out together in the K1 fight? That was insane. So,
and it was crazy because Mark Hunt came over to the UFC, lost his first couple, but then he went on a pretty good run. I'll never forget. I was in Australia and he had a fight against Antonio Bigfoot Silva. I think it was Antonio Bigfoot. I think it was. Anyway, and it was what a war. I mean, it was insane. It really was.
Yeah, but it was like those guys are just like I said, those are the legends. They still like they built the whole base where like now the sport is still growing on. So I'm super thankful for that. And those are the icons. We still have to thank and still have to look up to.
Yeah, my man. Well, listen, it served you very well, Rico. It was great spending time with you in Tenerife. We had a couple of laughs there. Great hanging out with you and Cyril Gahn. I've never felt so small in my life.
You're not a small guy, so.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not a small guy. We went out for a beer one night. There was me, Cyril, and you. And I looked like such a little dipshit. I'm leaving. I'm not hanging out with these
bodyguards with you. Come on. You were the superstar. We just like walked in like, we with Mike, man. Let's go.
I'm like, I'm out of here. You're making me look small. I felt pathetic. Rico, all the best. June 14th, get the job done. Always a pleasure talking to you, man, and thank you for your time today. Right, there he is, Rico Verhoeven. I mean, I spent some time. No. I'll just elaborate on this story real quick. All right, there he is, Rico Verhoeven. Just to elaborate on that story, Paul, that we were talking about on there. We were filming Den of Thieves 2. We went out for dinner, and they told me the story. There was Cyril Gahn, who's a big dude. Rico Verhoeven, who's 6'5", who's arguably the best kickboxer on the planet. And then a fat, drunk, out of shape dickhead trying to start a fight with Rico and Cyril Gahn at the same time. And they were such gentlemen about it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this guy had no idea who he was with. I'm telling you, he got off very, very lucky.
That's so funny when guys like that just don't even know who you're talking to and how bad of a night that could have been. But it's good that they had some restraint there, because that can be tough when guys are trying to push that, man.
Well, when we sat down at dinner, they were like, "Oh, he's lucky that you weren't there, Bisping." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm some wild maniac. Maybe when I was younger, but these days, as everyone knows, I'm just a little bootlicker. I'm a pussy these days. I won't say jack shit." Anyway, Harrington, jump on, buddy. We've got a few minutes before Merab Dvalishvili, the champ, jumps on. Give us a story, bud.
So I did, you were talking about wanting a non-MMA that you could sink your teeth into. How about this one? Straight from the headlines, from the Diddy case, as it's going on right now. Scott Mescudi, otherwise known as Kid Cudi, took the stand to talk about his experiences with Diddy. Apparently, he started dating Cassie shortly after her and Diddy were dating. He claimed at one point, and this is like a well-known story, that his car was blown up by Diddy. What also came out while he was on the stand is that Diddy in 2011 broke into Kid Cudi's home and unwrapped all of his Christmas presents.
I knew you were going to say this. I couldn't help but laugh. What a fucking asshole. Broke into his house and unwraps his Christmas presents.
There's a lot of things going on about how evil Diddy is and all the craziness that he may have done. But that just proves the level of evil you've got to have in your soul to want to get somebody so bad that you will literally unwrap their Christmas presents just to spite them.
I respect it.
I almost, yeah, the hustle is hardcore there on, oh yeah, I'll show you.
I'm going to unwrap your Christmas presents.
Yeah, dump your underwear all over the floor.
Speaking of Christmas presents, my Christmas presents were never wrapped as a kid. And Rebecca can't just fathom her head around it. She can't understand it. And I never had an issue because
you're getting
that was just life. I mean, I get it. There was 6 of us. There was a family of 8, 6 kids.
A lot of presents.
We always did pretty well at Christmas. And then we would come in, and the presents were just in like piles, that pile over there was for me. That pile was for Conrad. That pile was for Stephen. That pile was for Adam, Shireen, Maxine. But none of them were ever wrapped. And even still to this day, if we see my dad and we're in the country or whatever, or when we lived there, he'd come round and it'd just be in the bag. And Rebecca, it always blows her mind. And I'm like, yeah, who gives a shit? He still got us a present, Yeah. Where do you stand on the present wrapping, Paul?
Yeah, I'm kind of in between both worlds there. Where when I grew up, if it was a big thing or a toy or a present that was like a pain in the ass to get wrapped, it wasn't wrapped. It might, like a shirt might be in a box that was wrapped and things like that. But there was also stuff in our stockings that wasn't wrapped. So and same thing, like it was 3 boys and my mom and my dad. So like we also had piles. That's your pile. That's your pile. That's your pile. And there's your stocking, over the staircase right there. And you had like random things in the stocking. We'd get like a new toothbrush, cologne, candy, like some card game or some random ass game. My mom would come up with all these wacky things. She still does it to this day, just like a stocking stuffer thing.
Yeah, the stocking fillers. It must be an Irish thing. My mom does the same stuff, and there's always some kind of nonsense in there. But so it wasn't the awful childhood that my wife makes it out to be. She's like, I can't believe
I was just excited to see shit under the tree. Like I didn't care
because
wrapped or unwrapped.
Hiccups. Because in our house as well, there was sometimes a few things wrapped that came from relatives, Yeah. And the stuff was just, we were just like a frenzy. Christmas Day was just a frenzy. Everything would get unwrapped like crazy. But what we do now, and this is obviously from Rebecca's side of the family, this is and how we do it in our house now, which is very respectful, but it's not a Bisping thing. It's a Sidwick thing. They take it in turns, and everyone watches while the person unwraps it, and it's very respectful.
That was not my childhood either.
I know, but that's how it goes down, and it's like that's how it's supposed to be done. You watch. You talk about the gift, and I'm like, that's so not how it was in our house.
That's so civilized, yeah.
So civilized.
No. It was an animal house in my house, and it's a little bit more matured now. With same thing with Christine and kind of how the present situation goes. But we're in the same boat where our childhood, it was just I would wake up at like 4:30 or 5 and start bugging everybody in the house. And me and my brother actually before Christmas sometimes. Spoiler alert to any of the young kids that are watching this. If you're watching this, hopefully not. We knew Santa wasn't real when I was pretty young. And then obviously we would find the presents and we would open them meticulously.
Yeah.
Not to break the wrapping on the ones that were wrapped, like video games, and then go play them, get far in the game, then rewrap it and hide it back where my mom and dad had hid it. And then on Christmas morning, we were like, oh, yeah, it's great. And then already be like level 14 on whatever game it was.
We do the same thing at Easter. So I'm just going to throw it out. It's not just Thai boxing that's better in the UK, right? Easter
is better.
Easter eggs. Like guys, like we get proper Easter eggs. They're like this big and they're wrapped in foil and the big, massive chocolate eggs. And then inside the egg, there's like a bag. So let's say it's a Cadbury's egg or whatever kind of chocolate bar it was. It'd be a big, massive egg. And then it's wrapped in foil. So And my mum and dad would put them on like the unit in the front room, waiting, counting down the days to Easter. And then, so whenever they went out, we would unpackage them. We would pull all the foil off. And then we'd get a knife on the egg because the eggs are stuck together, like two halves. We'd get a knife and like open the egg, take out the inside, wrap it back up, put the foil back on, box it all back up.
Oh my God.
And they had no idea, and we
that's even more meticulous than us. Holy shit. Yeah, that's like, I mean, you're carving chocolate out and packaging it back up. It was a
military operation.
Yeah.
Military.
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
Just like also with my dad's vodka. I remember him going crazy because we used to drink a little bit of his spirits and then top it off with water. Yeah, it's like, who the fuck has done this? If you want some, just have some. Don't fill it up with water because then you're just destroying it.
You're just
destroying the whiskey,
Oh, we've definitely done the bottle, filling it with water, especially if, whoever's parents didn't really drink. It was just there from some Christmas party that they never knew about. So that was always good. But then if they ever did, they'd be disappointed.
Let's get this shit back on track real quick. Merab's jumping on in just a couple of minutes, but Jack Della Maddalena says that he sees Islam as a better version of Belal. We've talked about that. However, Belal came out and he says that he didn't stick to the game plan because he wanted to prove his boxing. Now, a lot of people are coming out and calling bullshit on that and said, hold on, you tried many, many times to take him out. You're friends with Belal, so it's a bit of a tricky one for you, but what's your take on that?
Well, I think any time with a statement like that, I think it's probably falls honestly somewhere in the middle, right? Where maybe he didn't do as much as he should have, and maybe he also couldn't do as much as he wanted to, right? So I think oftentimes when there's two extreme opinions on it, it's probably more in the middle. He probably does wish that he would have done a little bit more because you could see him trying to land combos, and normally it would be followed by a shot, and it didn't happen. But there was also times where Jack just was in the right angle, was cutting the right way, and was avoiding the takedowns too. So, you know how it is. Like,
but people are going to talk shit.
Say some things, and people are going to talk shit. So it's probably more middle than.
And as a fighter as well, it makes it the loss kind of easier to swallow. And maybe Belal doesn't necessarily realize that that's what he's doing, but you say, hey, listen, I went out there, I stood with him, I said what I was going to do, I went toe to toe, I didn't really try and wrestle him. He did, but Jack was just better on the night. That's fine. And subconsciously, you kind of formulate this narrative in your own mind. Say, well, I went off the game plan. I don't think he's consciously going out there and trying to sell the world a lie. It's just how you deal with it internally as a fighter. You're like, shit, well, I did stand there. I did trade. I did go. And he did. He did go to war. And it was a fantastic fight. So regardless, the man should be proud of himself.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it does seem like he kind of is accepting that, right? Like, I went that path. I fought that fight. And I took the loss, and I'll take that like a man. And that's why hopefully he heals up pretty quick. I know he had the fracture in his orbital and his nose was busted good. So hopefully he's back soon. And, a Shavkat fight or he's got opportunities to put himself right back in the picture either way. And
have you spoke to him on a personal level since the fight?
I reached out to him afterwards and just had said, how epic I thought the fight was basically. And that, I know it's never easy and there's nothing that anybody can say after you take a loss like that and lose the belt. I can only imagine. But I was like, dude, my mind is blown at how epic that fight was. And, you should be proud of that performance. And he was like, just, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
So I'll leave, I'm, you know how it is. You gotta nothing. What am I going to say that's going to get him out of that? Now I should be doing interviews and stuff like that. It's like, now I will be able to reach back out and probably actually talk to him. Cause he's not, you're thinking again.
It's always tricky, isn't it? Because when you speak to a fighter after they've lost a fight, you don't want to be condescending. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you don't want to pep talk somebody.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, buddy. Yeah. Like, nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear. It's like Anthony when he fought Dominic Reyes. When he fought Dominic Reyes, he just walked out the octagon. I was backstage at the T-Mobile. He was walking through. He was with his family. Obviously, there was that whole situation going into it. He was already very emotional. Then and then he had a bad loss. And then I see him. I bump into him. And it's like, shit. I say, hey, how you doing, man? We have a quick handshake. And I say, shit, it's a tough sport, man. You know, it's like, what are you going to do? At that moment in time, you're not going to stand there and get into the X's and O's and the ups and the downs, and you just give them a pat on the shoulder and just let them be alone with the thoughts. Fighters don't want to hear all the I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Stereotypical condolence.
Stereotypical bullshit that you might get written in a card. You know what I mean? Yeah. They've heard it all 1,000 times. Just leave them to it. Say, unlucky, man. Unlucky.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you can do. And it's tough. And we run into all these guys backstage sometimes right after the fights. A lot of guys are still all floating around, and you got to bump in the winners and you got to bump in the losers. And sometimes the losers are your friends. Sometimes they're the winners. And it's just, there's never anything that you can say. So you just say what's up, and then you got to let them be on their way, because we've been there. And it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to process.
Yes.
And talk to me in a couple of days, and I'll probably be more level-headed and focused on, like, okay, it happened. It was a fight and it didn't go my way.
Exactly. You know what Sean O'Malley would never do? He'd never be late. Sean would never be late. Like, people can say whatever they want, but Merab Dvalishvili is currently 2 minutes late for the biggest show on the internet.
I can't believe it.
It's crazy, man.
You know,
this guy's changed.
But he may have jumped off a mountain. He may have slipped in some ice. We can't assume yet.
We saw briefly the toe earlier. How did he do the toe? Do we know how he did it? Just, I'm assuming, a sparring injury or something like that.
Yeah, those pinky toes. You know how that be.
Yeah, it happened in training. I can't remember the name of the fighter who, I think it was Cameron something or other from his gym that he injured against.
Smotherman?
Yes, Cameron Smotherman, exactly.
Oh, wow. We go. Cameron.
Oh, Cameron.
Sharp elbows.
Remember when the last one did he have a cut or something, and he was posting him getting himself stitches, and Dana was at the Dana White Contender Series, like post-fight presser going, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Why?
So now when I saw this one, I thought, is he messing around?
Yeah.
Or is he just trying to annoy the UFC? He's like,
it seems like that's his thing. He's made that his thing, is doing crazy stunts and then driving the UFC crazy with posting injuries right before the fight. Now, Merab's a special breed of a human. I think he can deal with a broken toe, no problem, but they do suck, man. Like, people don't, if you've never injured your pinky toe, it sounds so innocent and silly to complain about. It hurts so bad. Because it's a stabilizer. It's a stabilizer. So the outside of your foot, especially if we all walk differently. I'm like very much on the outside of my feet, meaning my last toe really works. So when it's busted, and I busted it, and it's
my toes.
I busted a lot of fingers too before fights.
Oh, my fingers are destroyed, but my toes are a mess. And I know a lot of fighters' toes are a mess, but Rebecca's repulsed by my feet because she says that they curve under, because for the longest time when we were kids, I was told I was a size 10. Turns out I'm a size 12. So I've been living in the wrong size shoes for many, many years. All they had to do was measure my feet when my parents took me to the shoe store. But that's not what was going on. I was getting the hand-me-downs. You know what I mean? It's like, you can fit into those. Buddy. So my feet are permanently disfigured and bent and crooked and horrible, but, you know.
Yeah, maybe it helps you grip the mat now, though.
Yeah, exactly. Climbing up trees. Climbing up trees. All right, he's now 5 minutes late. So, there he is. The one, the only, the bantamweight champion of the world, the craziest Georgian bastard you will ever see in your life. Merab, how are you, brother?
Very good, Mike. How are you?
I'm fantastic, my man. We're glad you joined us today. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, how is the toe?
First, thank you so much for having me here. Toe is good. Like I said, if something I can cut it off, but I don't need to cut it off. It's good. It's good. No, don't bother me.
Doesn't bother you now, Merab. This is something that a very famous UFC fighter and Conor McGregor has pulled out of a fight with a similar injury to his pinky toe. What do you think about that? And how are you dealing with it? You wearing wrestling shoes all the time to move forward, or do you often wear wrestling shoes when you're training? What makes you different?
I mean, I don't want to comment about Conor McGregor's toe because I don't know exactly the pain and the situation. But my toe, I still have 9 other toes, and it was fine.
Perfect answer. That's perfect. So I don't need my little toe. I've got 10. Yeah, good for you. Obviously, a big fight coming up next week, Merab. So we appreciate your time, brother. Sean O'Malley, you beat him one time at the Sphere. Coming into this one, you think he's going to be, he's going to be a better version of himself. Maybe he's going to be more dangerous. I think he's going to come with a different game plan. If you were to think about this fight, what do you think Sean's going to do differently this time?
I think the first time he was waiting for me too much, and I was measuring distance good, and every time we get close, I was able to take him down. Now I think he will attack more. Like he will hit me. He will more
be the aggressor,
right? And then also, I think he has a success 5th round. Like he touched my body, like he got me one body kick, front kick, and maybe he will try more that. And I'm sure his cardio, he's like first time when we fought, he make mistakes, and I was better with him. Now he will make adjustments and he will fix that, and then now he knows what I'm good at, and I'm sure he will prepare more.
Merab, is this the first rematch of your career, or have you had a rematch before?
My professional career, it's the first rematch. But I was fighting in Georgia, like pro rules, but unfortunately those 9 fights, it's not my official
record
or it's not my. I had the rematch before, like beginning of my career, but. No, it's my first rematch, and it doesn't count because I was so new to the game now.
Right.
It's professional career. It's my first rematch, and to be honest, I already beat him, and it's hard to get 100% motivated.
Have you watched the first fight back, Merab? And the reason I asked that question is because normally when it's the person that loses, they've got to come in and do something differently. When you watch the fight back, is there anything that you saw that you want to change about yourself? Maybe any mistakes that you made and things that you want to do differently this time?
Yeah, I did watch fights, and I did very smart, and I think I'm going to make some changes, but I can't say now here. I cannot give my secret, but not big change, maybe more striking. I was more, it was my first title fight, and I was more focused to win the fight and not, and I was underdog, and I don't care what people was going to say. Now I want to show good fight, and now I'm going to be more focused to show good fights for people, and I'm going to show more striking. That's what I'm thinking right now, and
So you want to show more striking. And, Merab, you fought in the same arena that Sean fought in, right? You guys had this fight in Sphere. And I think I saw something recently where maybe his coach or somebody was saying the screens were making his timing off. Right. What do you think of all this shit? Because honestly, at the end of the day, you also were performing in the same exact space at the same time. So did you see this? Am I wrong in saying this?
No, you're right. We was both in the same situation, and before the fight, everybody was, how you gonna fight in Sphere? It's gonna be too much bright, too much light, different. And I said, we both will be in the same situation, and I was not worried about that. And actually, when I got in the arena, that was the best arena I ever fought because it was good light.
Yeah.
Yeah, crowd was far away, and it was just me and Sean, and I can hear my corner or his corner very well. That's why I hear when his coach was cheating and talking me to try to distract me. That's why I hear him well, and I was so relaxed, and it was the best arena I ever fought because how light was, and the fans was only one side. The other side, the only family people, and then the teammate was like for us, and it was the best.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because you're right. There was a lot of stuff going on with you and Tim Welsh. I know the referee had to get involved. And then, of course, you know, you were messing around. You were kissing him on the shoulder. You were putting a show on. Like, you were messing with him a little bit. I mean, are we going to see any of that stuff coming into this one?
You never say never, but no, I want good fight, like I said. Yeah, I hope he's.
All right.
We got you, brother. Sorry, we kind of lost you for a second there. You were just talking about the first fight and everything that went on.
Yeah, I will focus more to good fight, and I had a little fun kissing him. And but I'm not planning this time to kiss more. But let's see, let's see how everything will go. Then I will be more focused for sure, good fights. But you know, like we are just regular people. Like you know, like you guys know best. You guys fought there, and you guys know. Sometimes, you know, I don't know. Let's see.
The moment.
Merab, yeah. So, how has life changed? Obviously, as you said, a normal person. You're an average guy. You're a hardworking guy. We say a blue collar guy, right? That's like an American or a Western term. Just like an average guy. You've worked really hard. You're now the champion of the world. You defended the belt against Umar. You know, how has your life changed since you became the champion?
Only what changed for me, I get so much respect from like MMA fighters like you guys are, and now I'm a champion and I have a status and I have a belt, but nothing changed for me. I'm same guy. I still have the same friends, same teammates, same close ones that I used to have before, and I am even more humble and more focused and more motivated. But it's, you know, like, but, you know, every fight is fight. Like even I'm fighting rematch Sean O'Malley, and it's our next fight, and it's going to be new challenges, new fight. And like everybody telling me, oh, you got this easy, you beat him first fight. But it's a sport. You know, you never know. One little thing can change everything. And my life is good. I'm really happy. You know, now, of course, you know, once you become champion, and more money, more respect, more opportunities. But I try to stay humble, focused, motivated, and I love this sport. And long as I'm winning, I enjoy.
And Merab, just the last thing for me really is how much do you look at the division and look at the guys that are on the come up and think about your next opponent? I know when you've got such big tasks in front of you, like defending the belt, you know, a lot of guys like to look past that, but how closely do you watch the other contenders in the bantamweight division?
That's a good question. Yes, actually we have tough fighters in our division, and I do watch. I keep an eye on. I learn from my friend and sparring partner Aljamain Sterling. He was always look for, even guys have one fight in UFC in our division. He was always keep an eye, and and then guys who are in top 15 or some new contenders. I watch, but it's good problem to have. And then I'm happy that we have a good guys in our division.
What was your thought when O'Malley was going to be the next opponent? Because a lot of people were like, how come Sean's getting it? But I understand because you've beaten most of the top 10, most of the guys. But what was your initial thought? Was there someone else you wanted, or were you happy to take him out a second time and then close that door for good?
O'Malley, we all know that he's a good fighter. And after the fight, he makes and like he was saying that he was injured or something, and I want to just give him another chance. To be honest, I wanted to just give him quick turnaround since everybody was busy and they have other fights now, and there is no clear.
Contender.
Merab, I think the word you're looking for is contender. We cleared it up for you. You don't. Go ahead. Continue. Come on.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Oh, so I was talking about Sean O'Malley fight. It's good, I'm busy. It's gonna be 5th month from my fight. It's good. Like I'm busy, and now, like I said, another ESPN interview. I wanna be busy, and whoever will be next contender, no problem. I'm healthy, I'm hungry, I'm motivated, and I will fight this fight, Sean, because UFC wanted, Sean wanted, and no more excuse this time. And I wanna test myself against him again.
And you also want to get those pay-per-view points. Let's be honest, Merab. Come on, buddy.
Yes, Mike, for sure. But last time, I hope no pay-per-view point was more big, but maybe me and Sean, we can sell more. Like, I get first time my pay-per-view points, then it wasn't much than what I was waiting for, but hopefully this time we will get more.
Yeah, exactly. This fighting Sean might help you, man.
Sean's a big star. We'll let you go, Merab, but I just want you to know I'm slowly becoming part Georgian these days. I've partnered with a guy called Nika Agiashvili. We're making a movie together, and he's been hanging out at my house. I was drinking some cha-cha. Is that what you guys call it? Cha-cha?
Yes, that's Georgian vodka, homemade vodka, yes.
Yeah, it's good, man. I like the cha-cha. He brought some Georgian foods over. It was like, I forget what it was, like a cheese bread. Oh, my God.
Hachapuri. Wow.
Hachapuri. That's it. That shit's awesome.
Sign me up for that.
I was on the cheese bread. Yeah. You guys got some good food out there, man. And then there was like a bean salad or something. It was all traditional Georgian stuff. But yes, it was good stuff. Merab, good luck. Enjoy. Come and talk to us after the fight. All the best, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being crazy. We saw you sliding down the mountain the other day. Where was that?
That was here in Vegas, Charleston Mountains. I was running for Sunday run. I still don't take off. And
there he is.
Yeah.
You psycho.
After running, after I finish run, the little fun.
Nice, man. Well, good luck in the fight, brother. Dude. All the best. And
thank you, guys. Thank you.
Let's get some cha-cha. Let's go.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to fight New Jersey. It's where me and you we start fighting there. Original.
Yes,
now.
Sir.
We was all over. Now we're back. It's good.
Yeah, it's got to feel cool to come back there defending the belt, Merab, right? To be back in Jersey defending that belt. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right,
thanks,
my man.
Merab.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, champ. All the best, buddy. There he is.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that he kind of, obviously New Jersey, New York area, fighting all those regional fights, and now gets to come back and defend the belt.
And he was the dude that was found on Dana White looking for a fight. Dana White looking for a fight.
He beat my
Now he's the
current
champion.
teammate at the time.
Oh, did he really?
And my guy Rafian, who now I guess he's PFL, right? I think he's PFL now, but he was the favorite. They were there really looking at Rafian. He'd been talked up and he's a stud, and he still is a stud, but he got spinning back fist that night by crazy ass Merab, dude. And they loved him. He jumped on the cage, he was freaking out, the Georgian flags out everywhere. And I remember at the time I was like, oh my God, I was so heartbroken for my buddy. But now it's like it couldn't have happened to a more awesome dude.
Yeah, no, Merab's the man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Paul, you're the man as well. So is Brian and so is Harrington. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. That is our show. Big thanks to Rico. Thanks to Merab. And, of course, thanks to Khalil Rountree. We'll be back with another episode next week. But before we do, remember, send your questions into bynpod@gmail.com. We're not going to answer them today. It's Memorial Day. We've got barbecues to make. We've got beers to drink. I've got a bag to pack. I've got a family to see.
And
so until next week, and a film to film. Adios, amigos. Bonsoir. Sayonara. Give me one, Paul.
Ciao.
Ciao.